Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to this new video. I'm Waqar Ahmed. Well, in today's video, we are going to discuss tense, right? By the way, the literal meaning of tense is to be mentally unease, right? By the way, I'm not gonna make you be mentally unease after watching today's video. So, and in today's video, I would like to take you a little bit in different way from you have been learning the tenses. Okay. So here, first of all, you need to understand that tense is the name of grandfather. For example, you just have to suppose, right? If you don't want to get tense while learning tenses, you must follow what I say, right? So do as I ask you to. So just suppose this is grandfather. Obviously, grandfather is the supreme of any family. Grandfather has sons and daughters, and so these sons and daughters have further sons and daughters. Specifically, here I am going to talk about only sons, no daughters at all, right? Grandfather, it has 3 sons, right? And so grandfather's name is tense, and grandfather has 3 sons. First son's name is present, second son's name is past, and third son's name is obviously future. As you know, father's surname I'm talking about, not the name, surname. Let me write it down for you here. Surname, surname, right? In Urdu you might say kunyat, I guess. Yes. So surname passes on from sons to sons. For example, if your grandfather's name were Kashif Alam, your father's surname would be then, for example, Ali Alam. So Alam, both are the same, both are son's name, right? And your name would be Jamal Alam, for example. So all 3 Alams are the surnames and they are same. Similarly, this is present, and present is the name, and so all present has 4 further sons, right? And present simple, these are present continuous. Present continuous, in other words, could be said as present progressive, right? So present continuous or present progressive, present perfect, and present perfect continuous, all right? Or maybe present perfect progressive. So here, what is the one word that you see the same with all of these 4 grandsons of these one grandfather? Obviously, these are grandsons, right? There are 12 grandsons of this grandfather. Yes, you see this present same, and similarly you are gonna see past same, and with the third sons you're gonna see the surname, which is future, right? So now let me come to the main point. What is tense? Well, tense is a verb form, or you may say tense is a form of verb that indicates the time. For example, if I make a sentence, I am a teacher. So right now in current time I'm a teacher, my profession is teaching. And if I said I was a teacher, I would then talk about the past. My profession was a teaching, right? So here we have come to know that tense is a verb form that indicates the time. Here we have talked about the present and past both. Now let me dive into definitions, or you may say uses of these all 12 categories, right? Tense is classified into 3 categories. These 3 categories, present, past, and future, could further be classified into 12 categories. What are they? Just we are gonna look at that. See, first of all, we have present simple. In other words, you could say indefinite. To keep it short and simple, I would say it talks about repeated action, right? Although it's not yet there, there are other uses of the same category as well. For example, it talks about it is used to indicate the vivid narrative. It is used to quote the quotations. It sometimes talks about the fixed timetable of the future, but we are not gonna consider those uses. Just look at it, talks about repeated action. For example, I learn English. It means I don't learn only once, but I learn again and again. Today I am learning, I'll learn tomorrow as well, right? So it talks about repeated action. And don't you be worried about the structures, subjects, verb forms, since I'm gonna make a separate video for that, right? We are gonna do a separate video lesson for that. So don't you be worried, this is part 1 only. Next one we have present continuous, right? As looking at the word, you could infer, you could suppose in your mind what the definition could be. Obviously an action that is continued up, that is continuing at the time of speaking, right? For example, I am speaking English, so at this time I am speaking English, so this is happening while I'm doing. This is the first usage. This may also talk about an action that may not be happening at the time of speaking, but we use present continuous over there as well, right? For example, you ask me, are you reading the book that I gave you 2 days ago? I said yes. I said yes, but I was not reading at that time when I was being asked, right? So keep that in mind. This can talk about both of the situations. It has other uses as well. Not gonna dive into that one. Present perfect. It indicates a finished action or a completed action that has completed in the past time, but it has some connection with present, or we have result of the action that finished in the past, right? Or we may have effect, maybe. So for example, my friends have eaten all plates of biryani, right? They ate at 8 o'clock last night, right? By the way, we don't store the biryani for that long time, but for example, it's 9 o'clock at night and they ate at 8 o'clock, right? It's been an hour. Now somebody asks me, where are the plates of biryani? I said there are plates but not biryani on that. So where is biryani, right? Color rice I'm talking about. So I replied to that person, my friends have eaten all the biryani. They ate an hour before, but this is past, but it has present connection. What is connection? Effect is there is no more biryani on the plates, right? That's where we talk about past perfect tense, and that's where the usage of present perfect tense comes, right? Next one, present perfect continuous or present perfect progressive. Present talks about the past, so an action that obviously began in the past but still continued up, right? It shows the continuity of an action up to the present. And make sure that you mention the time, either starting point or time duration. If I say I have been playing cricket since morning, so since morning is the starting point and since is being used here to indicate the starting point, I would say I have been playing cricket for 4 hours. Here I'm using 4 because I am mentioning here the period of the time, the span of an action, for how long an action continued up, right? So that's where we add 4 instead of since. By the way, this is coming up in our next part. Moving towards the past, simple past, continuous past, perfect, and continuous. You don't have to add there perfect and. So past simple tense is used to indicate an action that started or began in the past, right, at some time in the past, and finished as well. It mostly comes with adverb. Adverb could be in form of a clause, a phrase, or one word adverb. For example, when I saw my friend, I got shocked, right? Or I slept for 3 hours last night. So I am adding here last night is a phrase, right? And I talked to my friend on Friday. So Friday is one word adverb. Got it? And in my first one example sentence, I used there a clause, when I saw my friend. So that's what you need to keep in mind, that be sure that you add there adverb in any form. Past continuous, same, you have to add their adverb, right? And it is used to indicate an action that occurred in the past time, at some time in the past I'm talking about, and finished as well, but this action continued up for a little longer, right? So in this category of the tense, we show the continuity of an action at some time in the past, right? We emphasize the continuity. It also started and finished too, but what we want to show is continuity of an action, so we use past continuous or past progressive. For example, I was flying in the air in my dream, not in real. Next one, past perfect tense. It is specifically most of the time used to compare two actions in the past, right? For example, let me tell you further about it. An action that occurred in the past or started in the past, right, and finished before a certain movement. By certain I mean specific, particular movement in the past. For example, you may have heard the very famous sentence that almost all the years come in your board examination of class 9 and 10. Patient had died before the doctor came. So before the doctor got present there, patient had died. An action had happened earlier than another action happened, right, in the past, right? One more example. Excuse me. Levi, just include we had eaten all the biscuits before my friends asked for, right? Before my friends asked me for the biscuits, we had finished them, right? So this is one more example. Moving towards the past perfect tense. And past perfect tense, yes, is used to indicate or express an action that occurred in the past, continued for a while, right? It is also used to emphasize continuity of an action. But here, what is that makes this one category and this one category different? What was in present that made present perfect progressive and present progressive different from each other? The same thing is going to be here. And what's that? That is obviously either starting point of an action or time duration of an action. For example, my teachers had been teaching for consecutive 8 hours in my college, although I got fed up by being taught that long time. So here I'm saying my teachers had been teaching for 8 hours. Consecutive I used there for 8 hours. So 8 hours is the period of time. There's no starting point. I could have said my teachers had been teaching since 8 o'clock. This would be starting point if I said this, but I didn't. So keep that in mind to differentiate since and for. Past perfect tense. Moving towards the next one. And the last one, son of the grandfather, which is future. Future simple tense is used to indicate, we usually use it to give some information about the future. It has many other uses like present simple. I'm not going to dive into those in today's short video, right? But what mainly we talk about in future simple is we show or we tell an information about the future. For example, my cousin will meet me on Ashura. Ashura is about to come, right? Or you may say on Eid, right? So here I'm giving the information about the future. Next, future continuous or future progressive. You must add there, no, I wouldn't say you must, but I guess you are supposed to add their time with the future simple as well. Moving towards the future progressive. Future progressive is used to talk about an action that will start or occur in the future, right? And will continue up to a particular time right in the future. For example, and you must add their adverb, right? Adverb I mean it could be in form of phrase, one word adverb, as I have told you while giving the example of past simple tense, or this could be in a form of clause, right? For example, Doctor will be operating my best friend next month, right? So I've added here next month is adverb. Got it? I hope so, and I hope you have got the clarification of much we have discussed yet. Next, future perfect. This shows an action. This shows, you may say, a completion, or the state of an action being completed before a particular or by a particular time in the future, right? It shows, it is used to talk about, now let me keep it in simple and short words for you, that future perfect is used to indicate an action will have finished by specific time, a particular time in future, right? For example, engineers will have got employment. Engineers will have got employment by, you may say, 2023, right? So here I have added time. By 2023, engineers, most of the engineers in our Pakistan country will have got jobs, will have got employment, right? Moving towards the last one category, future perfect progressive or future perfect continuous, right? It is also used to emphasize the continuity, but we here specifically talk about an action will start or begin in the future and will continue up to a particular time in the future. This will continue up to a particular time in the future. Similarly, past perfect progressive or continuous, an action that began or occurred or started in the past and continued up to a particular time in the past, right? Similarly, you are going to define present perfect continuous too, right? I hope you are clear with the much we have done so far. So for example, I'll have been meeting my friends for 5 days in Dubai, right? So I'm showing here, I'm mentioning period of time, right? Time duration, there's no starting point, right? So right, my viewers, my students, that's all from my side, at least for this one part, and inshallah give me few minutes or maybe some days to come up with the next part of the same series, in which I'm going to write down the structures for you on the board so that you could better understand. So that's all from my side. Inshallah, see you in the next part. Till then, take care. Allah Hafiz.